Dr. Emily Anderson stood at the panoramic windows of Mars Defense Station Alpha, her reflection calm against the rust-red landscape beyond. The massive Kryvaxian warships descending through the thin Martian atmosphere reminded her of the old sci-fi movies she'd watched as a child. Except these weren't special effects. They were real, and they were about to learn a very important lesson about humanity. Dr. Anderson, Lieutenant Jack Cooper's voice crackled through her earpiece. The alien vessels are broadcasting on all frequencies. Standard intimidation package, just like the simulations predicted. Emily allowed herself a small smile as she pulled up the holographic display. Record everything, Jack. Every frequency, every power signature, every subtle shift in their shield harmonics. This is the final exam we've been studying for since first grade. The Kryvaxian ships, 17 of them, arranged in their culture's sacred geometric pattern, filled the Martian sky with their crystalline forms. Each vessel sparkled like a massive diamond, energy coursing through transparent conduits that Emily's team was already analyzing. They were beautiful, she had to admit, but beauty wouldn't save them from humanity's thoroughness. "Ma'am," Technical Sergeant Maria Ramirez called out from her station, "their energy outputs match our theoretical models within 2%. Project Cassandra's predictions were spot on." Emily nodded, remembering the decades of preparation that had led to this moment. While the Kryvaxians thought they were making first contact, humanity had been watching them for years. Every conquest, every shock and awe display, meticulously documented by stealth drones and analyzed by Earth's best minds. The main screen flickered to life with the Kryvaxian commander's transmission. His crystalline features, arranged in what his species considered an intimidating expression, filled the display. Emily's translation software kicked in immediately. Another piece of technology the aliens didn't know humans possessed. Primitive settlers of this red world, the commander's voice boomed, "I am Supreme War Leader Tixtal of the glorious Kryvaxian Empire. Your immediate surrender will be met with mercy. Resistance will result in..." Fascinating modulation in their universal translator. Emily interrupted, speaking to her team while completely ignoring the aliens' demands. "Are you seeing how they're using crystalline resonance to bridge the language barrier? Katie, make sure we're getting clean readings on those frequencies." Lieutenant Katie Matthews adjusted her instruments, hiding her own grin. "Crystal clear, Doctor. Their entire communication system is giving us exactly what we need." The Kryvaxian commander's face shifted from practiced intimidation to genuine confusion. These humans weren't cowering. They weren't even paying attention to his carefully choreographed speech. Instead, they were taking notes. "Your insolence will not be tolerated." Sixtal's voice rose an octave. "Perhaps a demonstration of our power is required." The largest warship's primary weapon began to charge, its crystal lattice glowing with accumulated energy. Emily's team worked faster, their fingers flying over holographic interfaces as they recorded every detail of the weapon's power-up sequence. "Perfect," Emily whispered. "They're actually going to give us live fire data." The beam of energy that lanced from the Kryvaxian flagship was meant to vaporize an uninhabited section of the Martian colony. Instead, it splashed against a shield that shouldn't have existed, its energy dispersing in a spectacular display that Emily's instruments recorded in exquisite detail. "Shield effectiveness at 97%, Jack reported calmly. "Better than the simulation suggested. Dr. Anderson, I think we've seen enough to confirm the defense parameters." Emily finally turned to face the screen, meeting the Kryvaxian commander's now stunned expression. "War Leader Tixtal, thank you for that excellent demonstration. You've just provided the last piece of data we needed. Now please allow us to demonstrate why challenging humanity might be the last mistake the Kryvaxian Empire ever makes." She nodded to Katie, who pressed a single button. Across Mars, weapons platforms that had been disguised as mining equipment whirred to life. Defense shields that had been masquerading as atmospheric processors revealed their true nature. And in orbit, the real surprise waited. humanity's first line of defense against the stars. The war for survival was about to begin. But not humanity's survival, the Kravaxians. "Send word to Earth," Emily ordered, her voice steady. "Tell them the test results are positive. Operation Prometheus is go." Colonel James Thunder Martins watched the holographic display inside Luna Base 1's command center as red dots representing Kravaxian warships pushed past Mars. His scared fingers drummed against the titanium desk, each tap matching the countdown timer projected in the corner of his vision. 23 years of preparation were about to pay off. "Sir," First Lieutenant Sarah Wells reported from her station, "we're receiving Dr. Anderson's data package from Mars. Operation Prometheus is confirmed go." Martinez straightened his back, a predatory gleam in his eyes. "About damn time. Send the wake-up call." Throughout the solar system, humanity's carefully hidden teeth began to show. The asteroid belt's seemingly random chunks of rock shifted, revealing the massive gun batteries concealed within their cores. Mining stations transformed, their industrial equipment reconfiguring into defensive platforms that had been disguised for decades. Command codes authenticated, Major Tom Richardson announced, his hands flying over the holographic controls. "Activating Defense Grid Alpha through Delta." "Sir, you're going to want to see this. The Kravaxians just realized something's wrong." The main display shifted to show the alien fleet's formation breaking apart in confusion. Their neat geometric patterns scattered as sensors that had been blind to human technology suddenly overloaded with signals from all directions. "Patch me into the fleet-wide channel," Martins ordered, adjusting his uniform collar. "Let's introduce ourselves properly." The communication system crackled to life, and Martinez's voice carried across the void to every Kravaxian ship. "This is Colonel James Martinez of the United Earth Defense Force. I see you've met our Martian colleagues. Welcome to the Sol System's main defense line. We've been expecting you." "Lieutenant Wells, commence Operation Thunderstrike." Hundreds of asteroids that had been strategically positioned over the past 2 decades began to move. Not random chunks of rock, but carefully crafted weapons platforms housed within real asteroid shells. The Kravaxian fleet found itself caught in humanity's version of a cosmic shooting gallery. Multiple enemy ships adjusting course, Richardson reported with professional satisfaction. "They're trying to establish a defensive formation, but they're reacting to our decoy signals. Targeting solutions locked." Martinez watched as the first wave of humanity's defense grid unleashed its fury. Electromagnetic pulses, designed specifically to interfere with Kravaxian crystalline technology, rippled through space. Kinetic impact weapons, essentially railguns hidden in asteroid clusters, fired tungsten rounds at a significant fraction of light speed. "Sir, incoming transmission from the Kravaxian flagship," Wells announced. "Put them through," Martins ordered, straightening his posture. "Let's hear what they have to say." Supreme War Leader Sixtal's face appeared on the screen, his crystalline features arranged in what humans had learned was an expression of shock. This is impossible. Your species is barely space-capable. These weapons shouldn't exist." Martinez allowed himself a small smile. "War Leader, did you really think humanity spent the last century looking at the stars without preparing for this moment? Every science fiction story, every alien invasion movie, every wild theory about extraterrestrial life. They were all preparation. You're not our first contact. You're our first confirmed hostile." As if to emphasize his point, another barrage of electromagnetic pulses caused several Kravaxian ships to lose power momentarily. Their crystalline hulls flickered like dying light bulbs. "Lieutenant Wells, activate the lunar defense ring," Martinez commanded. "Show them why we built our first major base on the dark side of the moon." The lunar surface rippled as massive weapon systems emerged from hidden bunkers. The Kravaxian fleet's sensors registered energy readings that shouldn't have been possible from a primitive species. "War Leader Tixtal," Martinez's voice carried the weight of centuries of human preparation. "You have exactly 1 hour to retreat beyond the orbit of Mars. After that, We stop testing our weapons and start using them. Earth command. Out. As the communication cut off, Martinez turned to his crew. Send word to all Sol system defense stations. The war game is over. This is what we've trained for. Time to show the galaxy why picking a fight with humanity is a terminal mistake. The battle for Earth was about to begin. But the Kravaxians were about to learn that humanity hadn't just prepared for war. They'd been looking forward to it. Major Rebecca Wildcard Thompson stood in the cramped command center of the converted mining vessel Chaos Theory, watching the holographic display of her trap unfold. The Kravaxian patrol fleet, pursuing what they thought was a damaged human cargo ship, was following the trail of radiation breadcrumbs perfectly. "Status on the mining drones?" she asked, her voice carrying the hint of anticipation that her crew had learned to recognize. Technical Sergeant Danny Parker grinned at his console. "All 50 units in position, Major. They think they're chasing one injured ship. They have no idea they're being herded." The asteroid belt stretched before them, a perfect hunting ground for humanity's unconventional warfare. What the Kravaxians saw as a navigational hazard, Thompson's flotilla had turned into a deadly maze. Each asteroid was a potential ambush point, each dust cloud a possible kill zone. "Report from the Trickster and the Mayhem," Communications Officer Lisa Rodriguez announced. "They're in position and their mining lasers are reconfigured to combat specs. The Kravaxians still haven't figured out that our civilian ships are anything but." Thompson nodded, her fingers dancing over the tactical display. "Time to educate them. Execute Operation Hornet's Nest." The damaged cargo ship, actually one of their most heavily armed vessels in disguise, suddenly cut its engines. The pursuing Kravaxian fleet, expecting easy prey, moved to surround it. That's when Thompson's real plan sprang into action. 50 mining drones, previously hidden in the asteroid field's debris, activated simultaneously. Their industrial cutting lasers, modified for military use, began slicing through the crystalline hulls of the alien ships with surgical precision. Each drone targeted specific weak points that Dr. Anderson's team on Mars had identified. First wave impact in 3, 2, 1. Parker counted down. The space around them erupted in chaos. The mining drones, performing maneuvers that would have killed organic pilots, darted between the Kravaxian vessels. Their supposedly primitive mining equipment proved devastatingly effective against the aliens' advanced shields. "They're trying to establish a defensive formation," Rodriguez reported, excitement clear in her voice. "But they can't track our drones. The mineral content of the asteroids is playing hell with their sensors, just like you predicted, Major." Thompson allowed herself a small smile. "Let's add to their confusion. Release the fog." From the Chaos Theory and its sister ships, clouds of metallic dust billowed into space. To the Kravaxian sensors, it appeared as simple debris. They didn't realize each particle was a specially engineered smart material, designed to adhere to their crystal-based technology and disrupt their energy distribution systems. "Mom," Parker called out, "they're attempting to return fire, but their targeting systems are completely confused. The dust is working." The Kravaxian ships, their once perfect formation now scattered, fired wildly into the metallic cloud. Their energy weapons only succeeded in energizing the smart particles, making them more effective at disrupting their systems. "Send the message," Thompson ordered, her voice carrying the weight of victory. "Let's make sure they understand exactly what's happening to them." Rodriguez opened a channel to the Kravaxian fleet. Thompson's voice, translated into their language, carried across the void. "This is Major Rebecca Thompson of the Human Defense Force. Welcome to humanity's playground. You're not fighting a primitive species. You're fighting generations of humans who grew up dreaming about space warfare. Everything around you, from the mining equipment you dismissed to the debris you ignored, is a weapon. There's an old human saying, 'It's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog.'" As if to emphasize her point, another wave of mining drones emerged from hiding, their modified cutting beams slicing through the weakened Kravaxian shields. "Your choice is simple," Thompson continued. "Retreat now, or learn exactly how creative humans can be with the tools you thought were harmless. You have 5 minutes to decide. After that, we stop playing nice." She cut the transmission and turned to her crew. "Prepare the second wave. If they want to learn why humans are the galaxy's best guerrilla fighters, we'll be happy to teach them." The lesson was just beginning, and humanity's textbook of warfare was about to get a lot more interesting. Captain Michael O'Connor's enhanced vision adjusted instantly as his team moved through the darkened corridors of the Kravaxian flagship. The alien vessel's artificial gravity was set to 3 times Earth standard, a feature meant to incapacitate human boarders. Instead, it just made O'Connor smile behind his tactical mask. "Check your pressure seals," he vocalized to his team through their neural links. They're about to try their favorite trick. Right on cue, the ship's atmospheric pressure began to drop. The Kravaxians had learned that most species couldn't handle rapid decompression. They hadn't learned that human SEAL teams trained for exactly these conditions. "Multiple contacts," Lieutenant Emma Chase reported through the neural net. "Looks like they're trying to flank us through the maintenance ducts." Amateur hour. O'Connor's team had boarded during the ship's faster-than-light jump, a maneuver that the Kravaxian combat manual listed as physically impossible for organic beings to survive. The aliens were about to learn why you shouldn't write combat manuals without studying human physiology. "Jenkins, show them why they should have studied Earth's ocean predators," O'Connor commanded. Petty Officer First Class Alex Jenkins activated his suit's specialized features. Based on deep-sea creatures, the adaptive camouflage rendered him nearly invisible. The approaching Kravaxian security team never saw him coming. 3 down, Jenkins reported calmly. "Their crystal armor shatters nicely when you hit it at the right frequency. Thanks for that tip, Dr. Anderson." The team moved deeper into the ship, their enhanced muscles barely registering the crushing gravity. 72 hours without sleep, and they were still operating at peak efficiency. The neural stimulators and advanced training protocols had turned them into something the galaxy had never seen before. "Control room ahead," Chief Petty Officer Maya Rodriguez announced. "They've got it locked down tight. Triple-layered crystal barriers, energy fields, the works." O'Connor checked his tactical display. Time to show them why humans don't follow the usual rules of combat. "Execute pattern Sierra 7. His team split into perfect formation, each member moving with practiced precision. The Kravaxians had fortified their control room against frontal assault, but they hadn't considered that humans would think in 3 dimensions. "Breach charges set," Chase reported. "They still think we're going to hit the main door." O'Connor's voice carried a predatory edge. "Let's demonstrate why Earth's apex predators don't attack from where you expect. Execute." Synchronized explosions ripped through the ceiling, floor, and walls simultaneously. The Kravaxian defenders, positioned to repel an attack from the corridor, found themselves surrounded as O'Connor's team breached from multiple angles. "Control room secured," Rodriguez reported 45 seconds later. "Minimal damage to critical systems. These guys really need to work on their close-quarters combat." O'Connor moved to the main control console, his neural interface already syncing with the ship's systems, thanks to the encryption keys they'd stolen in previous raids. "Begin data transfer. Let's show them another human trait they didn't account for. We learn from every encounter." The alien computer systems surrendered their secrets to human ingenuity. Combat logs, technical specifications, strategic plans. Everything the Kravaxian Empire thought was secure fell to humans who had spent generations preparing for this moment. "Sir," Chase called out, "they're trying to redirect internal gravity to crush us. Should I stop them?" "Let them try," O'Connor replied. "Time to demonstrate why you don't attempt gravity-based attacks on a species that trains in everything from 0 to crush depth." The gravity increased to 5 times Earth normal. The Krivaxian commanders watched in horror through their security feeds as the humans continued operating, their enhanced bodies and training making what should have been a lethal environment merely an inconvenience. "Send the message," O'Connor ordered. "Let them know exactly what they're dealing with." His words, translated into Krivaxian, echoed through the ship. "This is Captain O'Connor of Earth's Naval Special Warfare Command. Your ship is now under human control. To those who wish to surrender, we accept. To those who don't, remember, we're the species that evolved as pursuit predators. We don't get tired. We don't give up. And we're just getting started." The real hunt was about to begin, and humanity was finally showing its true colors as the galaxy's ultimate survivors. Lieutenant Amanda "Ghost" Rodriguez sat in her dimly lit command center aboard the U.S. Digital Phantom, her fingers dancing across holographic interfaces as she orchestrated humanity's most sophisticated psychological warfare campaign. Multiple screens surrounded her, each showing different aspects of the Krivaxian military psychological breakdown. "Status on Operation Mind Games," she asked, her eyes never leaving the central display where Krivaxian communication patterns flowed like digital rivers. "Better than expected, ma'am," Technical Sergeant Brian Mitchell reported from his station. "Their crystal-based communications network is actually more vulnerable to emotional corruption than we anticipated. They've never encountered mimetic warfare before." Rodriguez nodded, allowing herself a small smile. The Krivaxians had expected physical warfare, ships, weapons, and troops. Instead, they were facing an enemy that had turned fear itself into a weapon. "Launch Phase 2, she commanded. "Let's show them why humans are the galaxy's best storytellers." Across the Krivaxian fleet, carefully crafted transmissions began infiltrating their networks. Ancient human horror stories, carefully selected combat footage, and the most terrifying weapon of all, recorded human laughter during battle situations. "Ma'am, incoming report from Psychological Operations Team Delta," Lieutenant Sarah Cooper called out. "The Krivaxian crew of the Crystalline Vengeance is showing signs of extreme stress. Their combat efficiency has dropped 60% after viewing the prepared footage of human children playing war games." Rodriguez expanded the relevant display. "Perfect. They're starting to understand that even our entertainment prepared us for this moment. Deploy the Lovecraft package." Throughout the enemy fleet, carefully edited footage began playing on their internal screens. Humans operating in environments that should have killed them instantly. Special Forces troops continuing to fight with injuries that would have incapacitated any other species. Civilians turning everyday tools into weapons with terrifying creativity. "Their command structure is fracturing," Mitchell reported with satisfaction. "They can't understand why their psychological warfare protocols aren't working on us. Every time they try to intimidate our forces, our troops respond with jokes." "Time to escalate," Rodriguez decided. "Initialize the reality break protocol. Let's show them why you don't try to break the spirits of a species that turns its own nightmares into entertainment." New signals penetrated the Krivaxian communications network. Their troops watched in horror as human Marines fought through conditions that their own species classified as unsurvivable, laughing and making jokes the entire time. Combat footage showed humans treating grievous injuries as minor inconveniences, their enhanced healing and sheer determination defying alien logic. "Enemy morale is crumbling," Cooper announced. "Their leadership can't maintain unit cohesion. They've never encountered a species that actively enjoys combat situations." Rodriguez activated her fleet-wide channel. "This is Lieutenant Rodriguez to all human forces. Operation Nightmare is go. Show them what happens when you push humanity into a corner." Across the battlefield, human ships began broadcasting on all frequencies. Not threats, not demands, but something far more terrifying to the Krivaxian mindset: human battle songs. Ancient war chants mixed with modern combat rhythms, creating a psychological weapon that the aliens had no defense against. "Their flagship is requesting emergency communication," Mitchell reported, surprise evident in his voice. "I think we actually scared their supreme commander." "Put them through," Rodriguez ordered, straightening in her chair. Let's hear what they have to say about humanity's hospitality. The face of the Cravaxian psychological warfare commander appeared on her screen, its crystalline features showing what human xenologists had identified as extreme distress. How do you do this? Your species faces death and responds with laughter. Your warriors treat hopeless situations as challenges to overcome. What kind of beings are you? Rodriguez's response was calculated to maximize impact. We're human. We turned our own fears into entertainment. We made horror into an art form. Every nightmare you try to show us, we've already imagined worse. Welcome to psychological warfare, Cravaxian style. Or should I say, human style. As she cut the transmission, Rodriguez turned to her team. Prepare the next phase. It's time to show the galaxy why humanity's imagination is our deadliest weapon. The real psychological battle was just beginning, and humanity was about to demonstrate why they were the masters of the mind game. Commander David Phoenix Wright stood in the center of the adaptive warfare lab aboard the U.S. Tesla, surrounded by holographic displays showing the latest breakthrough in human-modified Cravaxian technology. His team had just completed the final adjustments to their newest weapon system, one that shouldn't have been possible according to alien engineering principles. Run the simulation again, he ordered, his cybernetic eye scanning the data streams. Show me what happens when we combine their crystalline energy matrix with our quantum oscillation tech. Dr. Rachel Martinez, his lead weapons developer, manipulated the holographic controls with practiced ease. Sir, the simulation shows a 400% increase in weapon efficiency. The Cravaxians designed their systems to be perfect. They never considered that imperfection could be an advantage. Wright nodded, watching as the modified crystal lattice in front of him pulsed with an energy signature that would have horrified its original designers. They built their technology to maintain harmony. We're teaching it to thrive in chaos. Commander, Lieutenant James Wilson called from his station. The first batch of modified interceptors is ready for combat deployment. The Cravaxian crystals we salvaged have been successfully integrated with our neural interface systems. The massive engineering bay below them hummed with activity as robots and human technicians worked together, transforming captured alien technology into something entirely new. What the Cravaxians saw as sacred, unchangeable designs, humanity saw as a starting point for innovation. Begin the upload sequence, Wright commanded. Let's show our visitors how humans improve on perfection. Throughout the engineering bay, salvaged Cravaxian crystals began to glow with new patterns, ones that reflected human ingenuity rather than alien precision. The neural networks they'd developed allowed human pilots to interface directly with the crystal technology, achieving reaction times that the original designers had thought impossible. Sir, Dr. Martins reported, excitement clear in her voice. The first squadron of hybrid fighters is showing performance metrics beyond our highest projections. The crystal matrices are actually learning from our pilots' combat styles. Wright moved to the main tactical display, where dozens of human-modified fighters were powering up. Each one represented a perfect fusion of human adaptability and Cravaxian technology. Deploy Red Phoenix Squadron. Let's demonstrate why you don't give humans access to your technology unless you want to see it evolve. The hybrid fighters launched, their crystal-enhanced hulls gleaming with an inner fire that reflected their human modifications. On the tactical display, Wright watched as they engaged a Cravaxian patrol fleet. The aliens' confusion was evident in their combat patterns. They couldn't understand why their own technology was being used in ways they had never imagined. Enemy ships are attempting to activate their crystal resonance defenses, Wilson reported. But our modifications are bypassing their harmonics completely. They literally can't comprehend how we're doing this. Wright opened a channel to the hybrid squadron. This is Commander Wright to all Phoenix units. Show them why humanity doesn't just use technology. We improve it. The battle that followed was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Human pilots, their minds linked directly to crystal-enhanced fighters, performed maneuvers that defied the aliens' understanding of their own technology. Each engagement provided new data, which rights teams immediately incorporated into their next modifications. Send the message to Earth Command. Right ordered, watching as another Kryvaxian ship fell to human ingenuity. Tell them Operation Evolution is exceeding all expectations. The enemy gave us access to their technology, and we're about to show them why that was their biggest mistake. He turned to his engineering team, pride evident in his expression. Humanity has always been at its best when faced with impossible challenges. The Kryvaxians thought their technology was perfect. We're teaching it how to evolve. Prepare the next phase of modifications. It's time to show the galaxy why you should never let humans reverse engineer your weapons. The technological revolution was accelerating, and humanity was proving that perfection was no match for endless innovation. Admiral Jessica Steele Morgan stood on the bridge of the UES Inevitable Victory, watching as her fleet positioned itself around the Kryvaxian core world of Crystallis Prime. The massive view screen showed hundreds of human warships, their hybrid technology glowing with a combination of Kryvaxian crystal energy and human innovation. "Status of the enemy fleet?" she asked, her voice carrying the quiet confidence that had earned her the nickname Steel. Captain Ryan Davidson consulted his tactical display. "Their formation is breaking down, Admiral. 3 of their dreadnoughts are actively refusing orders from their high command. It seems our demonstration of mercy to the surrendered crews of the Crystal Vanguard has caused significant disruption in their chain of command." Morgan nodded, remembering the shocked faces of the Kryvaxian crew when human Marines had offered medical treatment to their wounded instead of executing them as their own military doctrine demanded. Sometimes, compassion could be the deadliest weapon of all. "Open a channel to their flagship," she ordered. "Let's show them another aspect of human warfare they weren't prepared for." The massive form of Supreme War Commander Zixtal appeared on the screen, his crystalline features showing signs of stress the human synapsechologists had learned to recognize. "Admiral Morgan, have you come to complete the destruction of our empire?" "Actually," Morgan replied, her voice level, "I've come to offer you a choice, one that your empire has never given to others, but one that humanity believes in deeply." She gestured to Lieutenant Emma Clark, who activated a holographic display showing the human fleet's weapon systems powering down. The Kryvaxian commander's confusion was evident even through his alien features. "Your sensors confirmed that we could destroy your defense fleet," Morgan continued. "Our hybrid technology, combining your crystalline systems with human innovation, has proven superior in every engagement. But that's not why I'm here." "Transmission from the surface," Admiral Davidson reported. "Multiple Kryvaxian military units are requesting direct communication. They're asking about our surrender protocols." Morgan allowed a small smile. "Put them all on. Let them hear this." The screen split into multiple sections, showing Kryvaxian commanders from various branches of their military. Each one watched with a mixture of fear and fascination as Morgan delivered her message. "To all Kryvaxian forces, you've seen humanity fight. You've watched us take your technology and improve it. You've witnessed our soldiers continue fighting in conditions that should have killed them. But now, at the moment of our victory, I want you to see something else. How humans treat those who choose peace." She nodded to Clark, who transmitted data packages to all Kryvaxian commands. "These are records of every prisoner we've taken, every wounded soldier we've treated, every crew member we've rescued from disabled ships. Your doctrine told you we were savages. Your intelligence said we were primitives. Instead, you found warriors who fight with both strength and mercy." The silence that followed was profound. Supreme War Commander Zixtal's voice, when it came, carried a note of wonder. You treat defeated enemies as equals. This defies all military logic." "That's because you're still thinking like conquerors," Morgan replied. "Humanity learned long ago that the strongest victories don't come from destroying your enemies. They come from turning them into allies." She straightened her uniform, her voice carrying across space to every Kryvaxian who could hear. "Your empire stands at a crossroads. You can continue fighting, and we will continue winning. or you can accept that humanity brings something new to the galaxy, the strength to win wars, and the wisdom to end them properly. The impact of her words rippled through the Kryvaxian command structure. Reports flooded in of units standing down, of commanders requesting peaceful contact, of an empire realizing that their entire concept of warfare had been upended by a species they had gravely underestimated. The choice is yours, Morgan concluded. You can face humanity as enemies, or meet us as equals. Either way, the galaxy will never be the same. The revolution in military doctrine had begun, and humanity was teaching the stars that true strength lies in knowing when not to strike. General William Peacemaker Harrison walked through the crystalline halls of the Kryvaxian High Command, his boots making a distinctive sound against the transparent floor. Behind him, a mixed honor guard of human and Kryvaxian soldiers marched in perfect unison, a sight that would have been unthinkable just months ago. "The delegation is ready, sir," Colonel Sarah Mitchell reported, falling into step beside him. Dr. Anderson's technical team has finished setting up the hybrid communication systems. The entire galaxy is about to witness something unprecedented. Harrison nodded, his weathered face reflecting decades of military experience. Good. Time to show them why humanity's greatest victory isn't won through warfare. It's achieved through transformation. The grand chamber of the Kryvaxian Council stretched before them, its crystal walls now incorporating human holographic technology. Representatives from 17 alien species filled the tiered seating, each one watching with a mixture of fear and fascination as Harrison approached the central podium. "Your technology was perfect," Harrison began, his voice carrying to every corner of the chamber. "Your military doctrine was flawless. Your empire was undefeated. And that was your weakness. Humanity learned long ago that perfection is the enemy of progress." He gestured, and the chamber filled with holographic displays, showing the various innovations born from the war. Human-modified crystal ships flew alongside traditional Kryvaxian vessels. Mixed crews worked together, combining alien precision with human adaptability. "Supreme Commander Zixtal," Harrison turned to the Kryvaxian leader, "your forces fought with honor. Now let us show you how humans build peace with the same dedication we bring to war." Zixtal rose, his crystalline form catching the light. "When we first encountered your species, we thought you were primitives playing at warfare. Instead, we found warriors who fight like demons, but offer peace like gods. The Kryvaxian Empire formally acknowledges humanity not as conquered foes, but as honored equals." The chamber erupted in murmurs as Harrison and Zixtal approached the central treaty platform. Above them, holographic displays showed the ceremony being broadcast to thousands of worlds across known space. "The Combined Defense Force Treaty," Harrison announced, "represents more than just peace between our species. It establishes a new principle in galactic law, the right of all species to defend themselves, and the obligation of the strong to protect the weak." Captain Michael O'Connor's SEAL team, standing guard at the chamber's edges, maintained their vigilance while displaying the enhanced capabilities that had so shocked the galaxy. Dr. Emily Anderson, whose initial analysis had given humanity its first advantage, stood ready with her technical team to implement the treaty's technological provisions. "Let it be known," Harrison continued, his voice carrying the weight of history, "that humanity comes not to conquer, but to connect. Not to destroy, but to develop. We fought this war not just to win, but to show the galaxy a better way forward." The treaty signatures, human and Kryvaxian, glowed with a combination of crystal energy and human innovation, a symbol of their new partnership. As the ceremony concluded, Harrison turned to address not just the chamber, but the entire watching galaxy. "To any who think of challenging Earth in the future, remember this. We don't just fight wars. We transform them. We don't just defeat enemies. We convert them into allies. And we don't just survive challenges. We evolve through them." The applause that followed wasn't just from the chamber, but from countless worlds watching the broadcast. Humanity had arrived on the galactic stage, not just as warriors, but as teachers. Not just as conquerors, but as innovators. Send word to Earth, Harrison ordered quietly to his staff. Tell them Operation Evolution is complete. The galaxy hasn't just learned to fear humanity. They've learned to admire us. And that's a victory that will last longer than any empire. The lesson was complete, and the galaxy would never be the same. Humanity had proven that true strength lies not in perfection, but in the endless capacity to improve, adapt, and grow.